everybody. Today welcome to the facts video, which is the first fact video as we are doing it. It's the first right now, so let's get into it. Did you know? So today we are going to see about the 10 discoveries that were found in 2020. As you know, 2020 has been a very bad year. As during this ongoing coronavirus epidemic, we are mostly staying at home and we have a lot of spare time. But scientists still have managed to discover 10 things in 2020, and it's a big accomplishment for them because during the pandemic it's just hard. So let us start with number one. Number one, the oldest material found on Earth is more ancient than our solar system. So scientists have discovered a material that is older, that is found on Earth, that is more ancient than our solar system. That means this rock in Earth is older than the solar system, billions of years before our sun winked into existence. Dying star flung dust out into space. Now a bit of that stardust trapped in a meteor that collided with Earth. So what is this material? This is actually a material this is actually a material that was in a dying star, which was before billions of years before our sun winked into existence. So this dying star was dying billions of years before our sun even came into existence, and this dying star flung dust out. So whenever a star is dying and it's reaching the end of its life, it flungs out dust into the space. So this star, as we can see right here, existed before our sun for billions of years, and it was dying and it threw out dust into space. Now a bit of that stardust trapped in a meteor. So what happened? Some of the stardust that this dying star emitted collided with a meteorite that collided with the Earth, was dated as the oldest material yet found on our planet. The dust coalesced with other rocks inside what would become the Murchison meteor. So for billions of years, this dust was roaming. Yeah. So for millions of years, this star right here. Yeah. So this stardust right here, it collided with other rocks, and those rocks collided into other rocks, making the Murchison meteor. So, which lit up skies over Australia in September 96. So the Murchison meteor crashed into Earth in Australia in September 1969 as it careened to the surface of our planet. A fresh analysis of these ancient rocks found grains of stardust that are between 4.6 billion years and roughly 7 years old. Scientists estimate that these early dust pieces lurk only in about 5% of meteorites, but that hasn't discouraged them from continuing to hunt for these clues to our galaxy's history. So the next big discovery was the first Tyrannosaurus embryos discovered. So it's actually the first T-Rex's embryos that were discovered. We know dinosaurs laid eggs. Inside them were embryos, and these embryos were never found until now. So they So they and their researchers identified some remains of Tyrannosaurus so young they hadn't yet broken free from their cell. So these Tyrannosaurus, or let's just call it T-Rex, these T-Rex babies were so young that they didn't even come out to see the world. They were still inside their eggshells, unhatched. This discovery comes from finds at two different sites. A foot claw unearthed in 2018 from the Horseshoe Canyon Formation in Alberta, Canada, and a lower jaw record in 1983 from two Medicine Formation of Montana. Analysis of these remains, which are 71 to 75 millions years old, reveal that Tyrannosaurus started out surprisingly small, measuring an estimated 3 feet long, about the size of a chihuahua, but with an extra long tail. This length is only about a tenth of their full grown counterparts, which are bigger than us, and might help researchers why researchers and help explain why researchers any haven't found other examples of these tiny tyrants. Most scientists just went looking for such a pint-sized predator. As you can see right here, it's an illustration what a Tyrannosaurus rex hatchlings may have looked like. So the newly described were not from a T-Rex, but an early species of the Tyrannosaurus. So this is, yes, it is a Tyrannosaurus, but it's not a T-Rex. It is a T-Rex like that, but it's actually another species of the T-Rex, a Tyrannosaurus that hasn't been identified. So this is the portrayal of the Tyrannosaurus hatchlings, and they look so cute. So next big discovery is that Mars is actually humming, and scientists aren't sure why. In November 2018, spacecraft arrived on Mars's frigid, dusty surface to take the planet's pulse, known as the Inside Lander. The robotic geologist recently beamed some of its early findings back to Earth, exciting and perplexing scientists around the world. Among these curiosities is a Martian hum, a quiet, constant drone that seems to pulse to the beat of Mars quakes that rattle the planet. So Mars is something, and it's actually a quiet, constant drone that seems to pulse to the beat of Mars quakes. Mars quakes are literally earthquakes that are in Mars. So it might be constant drone that seems to pulse to the beat that might rattle the planet. The hum's origins remains unknown. We still don't know its origins. Earth has many such background vibrations, from roars of winds to the crashing of waves against the sea. So we can really misunderstand this for some alien Martian civilization, but instead it would only be some rocks cracking or something like that. No, Earth has these kind of events when the cracking of ice makes it so bizarre it's actually scary, even though it's just the breaking of ice. So but the thing is, the music of Mars reverberates at a higher pitch than most natural hums on Earth. We know we have these kind of scary alien like hums, but they're mostly in a deep tone or a natural tone. But the Mars tone, but the Mars hum is higher pitched. It might be involved with why it's closer to the. It might be the geology underneath the lander amplifies one particular tone, or the might be or the lander itself might be even generating the noise. So the thing is, it might be having to do with the mass, distance between the sun, or it's about its materials it's made of. It's my theory. Let me know your theories down the comments. But the scientists have some two theories. The first theory is that the geology underneath the lander amplifies one particular tone. So the geology of underneath the lander. So the place where the lander was, underneath it, the geology of that um, particular particular area gives us this one particular tone, or the lander itself might be even generating the noise, the noise of the machines working. And that would really bum us, because Mars is humming. That's more cool. So perhaps it's extremely puzzling, Bruce Bennett has said. So, as you can see right here, an artist's impression of the inside lander. So many people think that the lander itself made the noise, or in this area of specific region that it's capturing the noise gives us this particular tone. Who knows? Yeah. The mystery of the star Beetle Juice's strange behavior finally solved. So right now, these three discoveries really didn't give us that much information. It only gave us more questions. So now we really get an answer. So so back in before 2020, the star Betelgeuse had a very strange behavior, but now it's finally solved. Betelgeuse is among the brightest stars in the sky, but in December 2019, its intense twinkle mysteriously dimmed. So Betelgeuse is so big; it's bigger than the sun. It's very very shiny. Betelgeuse. Yeah. Yeah, as you can see right here, the Betelgeuse is it's so hot. It's you get the point. It's so hot. And the thing is, it's in 2019. It's been giving some strange behavior. It's, uh, it's giving us some strange behavior. What had really happened in 2019 December? Its shiny twinkle mysteriously dimmed. It, so the reasons that scientists, Betelgeuse's strange behavior might be explained because a planet might, pass through its way or something like that. Another object might be covering it and making the light of the star very dim and stuff like that. So let's get to the answer. That was my theory back at the time. So now perhaps Beetlejuice. So the dramatic change set scientists abuzz. Some people also think that Beetlejuice was at the point end of its life. So it could dim and then explode in a brighter supernova than the full moon. But yet in August of this year, NASA announced a far less extraordinary explanation for its suddenly shadowed face. The star burst. You might be thinking it was a alien something. It was big. It was, but at the end, it's just the star burped. Yeah, it's star burped. Observation by the it's revealed that the star likely sent out a super hot jet of plasma. which is that cooled as it whipped forward. So the thing is, this is the sun's spewing out super hot jet of plasmas are they're common. It happens in our own sun too. But this one's jet of plasma that cooled as became cool as it whipped outward. This process formed a cloud of stardust. So this plasma cooled, making it into stardust that could have blocked the Beetle Juice's light from eager earthbound viewers. The star returned to its normal brightness this past spring. So sky watchers will have to wait for its fiery death. Next one, we have the stunning details of an armored dinosaur's last meal. So this, so we have recovered details of an armored dinosaur's last meal, which means it's the last meal it ate. The brilliantly preserved half 110 million years old armored dinosaur, bony plates, scales, and all. Surprised and delighted after it was accidentally unearthed by a heavy equipment operator working in Alberta oil sands. But this year, the spiky creature served up even more excitement when an analysis revealed that the Earth's last meal was also preserved in the belly. That means this 110 million year old armored dinosaur's belly had the remains of its last meal, which was, and this meal was preserved. The dinosaur was a Nodosaurus, which is a type of Ankylosaurus but lacks the club tail of some of its cousins. So the Ankylosaur species, actually many of those big boys had this they had this small ball-like thing that was used for attacks, but this one, the Nodosaurus, didn't have this type. It didn't have this club tail. The ball of fossilized vegetations from the Nodosaurus stomach revealed that a few hours before its death, only few hours before its death, it ate this fossil and vegetation, munched on a very specific type of fern selected from a variety of available plant life. Rigs of woody twigs eaten along with the ferns revealed that the Nodosaurus likely died during the summer. While only a single meal, the find provides an exceptional look at the final hours of a creature's life more than 100 million years ago. The second largest Ebola outbreak is finally over. So this isn't practically, a discovery, but it's something that happened in 2020. So the second largest Ebola outbreak is finally over. So what exactly is Ebola? But I won't be saying it in this video since I'm talking about the this second largest Ebola outbreak is finally over. So I will put a detailed video about Ebola, but let me just give you a quick recap of Ebola. Ebola is a disease that happens when African bush people eat a meat that has the Ebola virus. These meat including bats, dead bats. So these make a terrible disease that kills so many people. It's terrible. So I don't want to talk about it right now. So let's see. On June 25th, the WHO declared the end of the largest outbreak, which infected more than 3,480 and killed nearly 2,300 people. Known as the Kivu virus, the event began in August with a cluster of cases near Kivu in Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo. Ebola is a hemorrhagic fever marked by the host of symptoms including bleeding. So how the the Ebola germs, infect our bodies through cuts in our fingers, stuff like that, weakness, and it is spread through direct contact. It can even spread to direct contact, and it can even spread through wound with the infected person or animal's blood or bloodly fluids containing. So direct contact means it's when direct contact with the infected person's blood, so then it will pass to us. Containing the disease in Kivu was particularly difficult due to local unrest, because local people really aren't that much hygienic, but yeah, they really don't know what's really happening. They don't have those hospital needs, medicines that efficiently, but successfully. Unfortunately, the WHO has done the impossible. However, armed with a new vaccine, healthcare workers led by Michael Yahoo of the WHO launched a campaign to vaccinate anyone who may have been exposed. By also approving community engagement, this effort led to the vaccine of more than 300 people. So then so yes, that's it. So in the fun side, you can say Ebola outbreak is finally over. It's time the COVID is also destroyed. So next up we have so next up we have the oldest Homo erectus skull. So this is a Homo erectus skull. So that means this is the creature that is like humans, which it's the oldest. It's like the first or something like that. But the oldest Homo erectus skull has been found. So this was found in Johannesburg, South Africa. The skull pieces initially seemed like they came from ancient baboon. But as Jesse Martin and Angeline Lees, both students of the La Trobe University in Australia, assembled the pieces, they realized they held the first brain case of an Homo erectus yet found. So this was the first brain case of a Homo erectus that is yet found in Southern Africa. What's more, dated to some 2 million years old. So this skull was dated to about 2 million years ago. The skull marks the earliest remains of this ancient human ancestor. So next up we have the hints of the first dinosaur DNA in Jurassic Park. Isolating dinosaur DNA is as simple as extracting the blood feast of an ancient mosquito, encased in an amber. So as you can see, in Jurassic Park we get the DNAs of dinosaurs so easily, but this sadly couldn't happen in real life. But don't worry, because in 2020 we have had the hints of the first dinosaur DNA. So we are going, I think we might track this in 2021. So let's see. While studying well preserved fossils more than so we are still far away from being this piece of science fiction to life. So don't say to your mommy, we are gonna have Jurassic Park right now. It will take some time. No, it's just a hint. It's not even the DNA. So some scientists were studying fossils that were dated back to 70 million years. A team identified the outline of cell forms that may be chromosomes and severally possible nuclei. The structure that houses DNA. So chromosomes and nuclei that are in cells actually house the DNA. So we have not found the DNA, but we have found um, out of cells. For we may have found things that house DNA. They haven't extracted DNA from the fossil cells. However, so they can't confirm yet whether the material is unaltered DNA or another genetic byproduct. So we have still don't know if they have extracted DNA from the fossil cells. However, so they can't confirm whether the material is is altered DNA, unaltered DNA, or it's just a genetic byproduct. It's an amazing look at the finer details that fossilization can preserve. So next up we have this surprise cave discoveries may push back people's arrival in the Americas. Yes, yeah. So these surprising grave discoveries may push back people's arrival in the Americas. Stone objects recovered from deep inside the Chinquit cave. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong. The cave in Mexico hints that humans may have arrived in the Americas as early as 30,000 years ago, roughly twice the age of most current arrival estimates. This date is hotly debated among archaeologists, with many initially placing the first human presence in the Americas at around 13,500 years ago. So, stone subjects that were found in this cave in Mexico may hint that humans may have arrived in the Americas as early as 30,000 years ago. This date is hotly debated among archaeologists, with many initially placing the first human presence in Americas at 13,500 years ago. So the thing is, this hint that has been given is nearly 30, making so this hint is trying to prove that humans may have arrived in Americas as early as 30,000 years ago. But scientists boldly say that it is actually 13,500 years ago, as ice sheets receded and migration routes from Asia opened up. But recent evidence has pushed the date of human arrival back by thousands of years. And a new analysis of these stone artifacts include blades, projectile points, and rock flakes interspersed with bits of charcoal dated to some 30,000 years old, suggest humans likely arrived in the Americas before glaciers began to melt. So it was cold, and the glaciers never melted, but because of these remains that date back to 30,000 years old, scientists may think that the people might have gone to America in 30,000 years ago. Studying the cave suggests it could have been the hospitable tens of thousands of years ago, as the region was likely much cooler, wetter, and greener than it is today. Yet no human remains have yet been found. So we have found some tools that humans used, but we haven't found any human remains, as the region was likely much cooler, wetter, and greener than it is today. Jinquits, yes. So next we have a reef taller than the Empire State Building. So if you know about the Empire State Building, scientists have found a reef that is taller than this big building. So what is this reef? So when a team of Australian scientists on board the skimmed ocean institution research vessel Falcor was mapping the northern Great Barrier Reef sea floor when they stumbled on a towering skyscraper more than 1,640 feet tall, the first of its kind discovered in more than 120 years, known as the detached reef. So, this reef is known as the detached reef. The new found coral tower is one of the 8 now known in the region. These natural structures provide vital habitats for creatures like turtles, sharks, and which flit in and out of the deep waters. While for more details of this reef will likely emerge, taxonomists studying the Mediterranean video have already identified several new fish species. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching this video. Until next time, bye.